Pokemon, this gym of mine is a game that allows you to live out your dreams of becoming a gym leader and crushing the dreams of everyone that comes to challenge you. This is Bob. He may not seem like much now, but he's on a journey to become the greatest gym leader that ever existed. Bob is teleported into this room that looks like the Void. Maybe we're inside of a black hole of some kind. But we're asked to choose what type we want to use. Now, we could go for anything. We could go for ice, water, fire, but what Bob truly wants to use is, of course, the incredible fairy type. Bob's then offered with a choice, Ralts, Togepi, or Cleffa, which was a simple choice, obviously. See, Bob grew up on a farm and he loved to go outside and explore the woods around his house. But one day, he was surrounded by a group of Weedle, threatening to poison him to death. Bob thought it was all over until a Ralts came out of the bushes and confusioned the Weedle, taking them all out. Ever since then, Bob and Numa have been inseparable, and Ralts will be the perfect starter for this fairy-type gym. After we embark our ship from the Kanto region, we encounter the mayor of Umbel City, the person that takes care of the surrounding area, and of course will act as a wonderful and glorious caretaker and helper. The mayor explained to us that the previous gym leader just kind of up and left one day. No one really knows why, but that's why the position was open, and of course, Bob is ever so excited to take it up, and off we go. We begin our journey to the city that we will become the gym leader of. Unfortunately, the trip is cut short as we're ambushed by a 5-year-old girl, but this should be no issue. If we're gonna be the gym leader of this town, then we have to be able to prove that we truly can defend it, easily taking out the Starly. No problem for Bob, obviously. Then a picnicker appears from nowhere and challenges us as well. But just like we easily dispatched that Starly, this gym leader in training should absolutely have no problem taking out the Puchin. Oh, Numa. Uh-oh, that's not good. All right, that's not the best start for good old Bob, but he'll be all right. Eventually, we make it into town and we encounter some ruffians. They come in to cause a bit of havoc. This then devolves into the quickest fight of our entire lives. The Rough Rider runs away and we head into our new house to find a package on the table. It contains Dazzling Gleam, which is our gym's signature move. We can teach it to all of our fairy types, of course, but it also comes with a fun little caveat where we can also have 2 non-fairy type Pokemon on our team as long as they know Dazzling Gleam, which seems a bit like cheating, to be honest, but it's all right. We have a rendezvous with the mayor, who essentially tells us try to not cause a violent insurrection and to help the locals and all that trollop. But he also informs us that we can recruit gym trainers. So we check the old mailbox to see if anyone's applied, and there are 3 options: gym guy, old gym guy, and gym girl. After reading through all of the options, Bob decides to go with the gym girl because it seems like she's the most qualified, and also gym guides seem to be a very male-dominated area. It's time for progress, Bob thought. So we enter our gym for the first time and the mayor meets us with 2 children. Unfortunately, these are the gym trainers that will be battling trainers coming into our gym, supposedly stopping them from battling the gym leader, which doesn't really sound ideal, but we did get beaten up by a 5-year-old just outside the town, so maybe they got something on with them. The mayor also tells us that we need to have 3 Pokemon on our team before we can take any gym battles whatsoever. Also, these kids gym trainers, they're dicks. They're literally just little asses. So we take this as an opportunity before we open the gym for the first time to run around, see the sights, go to hospital, meet Mr. Fish, who sells rods for free. Not great business practice, but not gonna complain. And then get absolutely battered by the locals. Now, thankfully, we only have to give out gym badges if we lose inside of the gym, because my God, did Bob lose a few times? It would be an understatement to say that. Eventually, we make our way through a cave full of dragons after losing a few times. And then we finally made our way to oh, no, sorry, that's another loss. We finally made our way to an area renowned for having a lot of fairy-type Pokemon so we can fill out our team. We find a Mr. Mime Jr. that had recently run away from the circus, wanting to join a battle group. And we also find an electric rat to add to the squad, too. Not wanting to stop there, Bob continues to look for Pokemon and encounters a Cutiefly, which would be a fantastic Pokemon, but unfortunately, Bob is still deathly afraid of bugs from the Weedle situation when he was a child, so he has to run away. Eventually, we find a Flabebe and settle on that as the next team member. So the squad is looking good. It's looking strong. We teach it Dazzling Gleam because obviously it's our signature move, and the day has finally come to open our gym for the first time. So we swing our doors open and the trainers arrive in groups of 4, each trying to win our gym badge, along with weird new errands. What the hell is going on with that thing? But of course, Bob Bob won't go down so easy. These trainers, they're pathetic and weak. With every battle, we gain reputation. And when the day ends, we head to the break room to talk to all of our friends, of which there is one. And after a long day's work, we head to bed. Happy in the knowledge that we have denied children the opportunity to chase their dreams for one more day. The next day, we check our mailbox, and Bugcatcher Carlos wants to apply to become a gym trainer, which of course we deny because of our horrible fear of bugs. We then get a letter from a person called Jacob who wants to make it very clear that he is totally not joining because the only gym with a girl for a gym guide. Not wanting my employees to be sexually harassed, obviously. We don't allow him to join. What are you doing, Jacob? And then it's back on the grind for another day of dream destroying. The next day, we check the mailbox and Bugcatcher Carlos is very determined to get a spot in the gym, even though Bob is basically racist against bugs. But Painter Anna applies, and I'm always one to enjoy some of the finer things in life, like art. So Anna is allowed to join our gym. And of course, letter number 2 from Jacob comes through. Now, obviously, it's very important that we engage with the local community. Do a little PR, so to speak. And obviously, as a gym leader, we're a very rich man with over 100 potions, so we donate a singular potion to the local hospital to show how good of a gym leader we are. Eventually, after a few days of beating up children, the mayor wants to speak with us. Apparently, we're so good at beating up children that the whole town is talking about us. And we even have a random fangirl. But then, disaster strikes as Elizabeth appears. Elizabeth is a bit upset due to the disappearance of the previous gym leader. Disappeared without a trace, and she's a little bit worried that we're gonna do the same thing. So she challenges us to a battle in front of the gym. Unfortunately, Elizabeth really sucks at battling, so her whole moral grandstanding about trying to save the town, and well, it doesn't really count for much, to be honest. The next day, the mayor calls us up nice and bright and early to tell us that we've upgraded to gym leader rank 1, which is, wait, does that mean we start at 0? Bit strange. It does mean that the trainers we face are a bit stronger now. The higher we go up in rank, the stronger the trainers are. So he encourages us to train for a bit, shoot for maybe level 15, which isn't too difficult considering my Pokemon are all about level 19. Regardless, we get back on the daily grind of denying kids their hopes and dreams. And we also make sure to keep up to date with the gym trainers, see what Painter Anna is up to, and generally just getting in the hard work and maintenance required to run the best bloody gym in the region. We check our mail the next day. Cool trainer Tim wants to apply, which I have to allow in because my gym doesn't have enough cool points yet. Bugcatcher Carlos gets denied. And then Crush Girl Kim wants to apply, which obviously I have to accept because if we have a Tim, then we have to have a Kim too. And then Jacob makes another appearance, which at this point we're heavily considering calling the police, but it's not like they do anything about stalkers anyway, so we just toss that into the fire and move on. As we get stronger, our Pokemon begin to evolve, and our connections with our gym trainers grow stronger. We also have a phone that we literally can use to call the police if we really wanted to, so maybe that'll be useful in the future. Jacob applies again, and our reputation grows and grows battle after battle. Also, this old man tries to bribe me, which of course I don't even consider for a second, because he didn't offer nearly enough money.
Well, you've beaten me. Well done, but may I purchase the gym badge?
No, of course not. I'm a respectable gym leader. But out of curiosity, if I were to say yes, what would the offer be?
How about $1 billion?
Oh, no. I'm a way more expensive date than that. After trying to scam an elderly man, we find there is a trainer standing right outside of our gym that uses level 50 Blissies and exclusively tail whips while having Black Sludge. This idiot! Does she know how much experience she's giving out? So we use this to great effect to rapidly level up our Pokemon, meaning that we can evolve our Mime Jr. into our Mr. Mime. And finally, after all this time, Numa the Curlier can achieve its most powerful form. We've come a long way from killing Weedles, but there's no time to reminisce. There's more gym challenges to take down, and with our fully buffed up boosted team, they stand, well, they don't really stand any kind of chance, do they? We take a second to speak to the locals. Jacob applies again. I think it's about time we report him to someone. I don't know who, just someone. And Shani the Floette turns into a wonderful blueberry flower. I don't know what this is based on. And then what I can only describe as a disgustingly determined youngster trainer enters the gym. I'm not the dumb kid I used to be. You used to be 5 and now you're 6? What's the problem here? All right, chef. Wow, your reputation went up by 30. Wow. Jeff, you can't tell me that you're not the dumb kid that you used to be. when you just throw your head at a wall over and over again.
But my training!
Wow, your reputation. You're not beating the dumb allegations, Jeff. If Jeff comes back in, I'm going to shoot him. I'm just saying that, okay? You didn't do much training, I'm gonna be honest. Jeff, what are you doing? And after my daily tasks of defeating a young child 4 times in a row and checking in with the gym trainers to see all's above board, we head home for a well-deserved night's sleep. But then it turns into a nightmare as we're kidnapped by the Rough Riders. Surrounded and locked in the basement of a cave, we find ourselves in what I can only describe as a bit of a sticky situation. Fortunately though, they're quite nice. They'll give me a drink of soda pop for some reason, but they have no plans of letting me go. So of course we do the only thing that makes sense in this situation where I still have my phone. We call the police. Let's take stock of the situation that I'm currently in. I have been kidnapped from my house and locked, sealed in a cave where I'm being held hostage without the ability to leave. This seems like a situation where the police may get involved. So let's make an attempt to call the police. I shouldn't call this number unless it's necessary. Let's call the mayor. Ah, Bob, glad to hear from you. Keep up the good work. What? Gym girl? Oh, hello, Bob. How is everything? Pretty bad. I've been kidnapped. Don't know where I am. Might be murdered, to be honest. Probably a heavy chance that they're gonna kill me at some point so that I don't snitch. So, not great. No, I'm not calling about my reputation. Thankfully, the police wasn't necessary because I'm the goat. Or, Bob is the goat. And we dispatch the criminals keeping us locked up with relative ease. We take down trainer after trainer, goon after goon, until finally we see the outside once again. And just after escaping into the caves that'll lead us home, the mayor appears, as well as the gym girl, who are both quite excited about the fact that I unkidnapped myself, which is weird considering how lack of caring they were when I called them while being kidnapped earlier on. But just then, the leader of the local gang appears, Edgar. Edgar Allan Poe over here is not a man to be trifled with, and he issues us a challenge, a race to determine who can win the favor of the city first, who can win the most reputation, and we elevate all the way to gym rank 3, which means we now have to bring 6 Pokemon into the gym with us. And additionally, now we can go on vacation. We seem to accumulate enough mental trauma points to increase our workers' rights. And we didn't even have to do Violent Revolution for it. How fantastic. So I decide to call the gym leader hotline and, well, it's time for Bob to go on a little bit of a vacation. We end up choosing a small rural town called Breezy Town. We arrive there on the boat. Everything looks serene, tranquil, and fantastic until you realize the town lies on the edge of a void. And we can also perform magic tricks in Breezy Town, like for example, walking up a wall and just sitting inside of a wall. Yeah, there's a few strange things you can do in Breezy Town, but we grab an experiment ball, which apparently is just a great ball, see the local sites like the windmills, and rapidly realize that we're on that hashtag grind set, that vacations, they're just not the thing for me. So we turn in for the night and then we head home. But now we're armed with a new objective. We must fill out our team. So I search far and wide for a Mawile, knowing that we need some kind of physical attacker, and Steel Fairy is just one of the best typings in the entire franchise. So Brian is added to the squad, and we remember back to Edgar's challenge. We have to win over the town to our side, and we can only do that by building up reputation and showing our strength. So in order to fill out our team, we wait until the dead of night and then head into the fields. There's one Pokemon that we really need to add to our team. Do you remember back at the start of the video where I said we can be a little bit of a cheating Charlie and add a non-fairy type to our squad as long as we have Dazzling Gleam? Well, no better time than the present, as they say, as we're able to catch a dead guy out in the dead of night, teach it Dazzling Gleam, and voila, we have ourselves a technically legal 6 Pokemon squad. So back on the daily grind we go. Absolutely embarrassing trainers, knocking them out left and right, evolving the Haunter into a Gengar. Everything seems to be going well. Even Bugcatcher Carlos is still applying, but nope, still racist against bugs. Lydia can join though, she seems nice. And of course, Jacob's still trying to harass my gym guide. That's awesome. But so far, we haven't lost to a single challenger. No one has managed to defeat us until this hiker appears. Hiker Paul with one Pokemon. And it's a level 70 Tyranitar. Bob is terrified. It's over. How will we defeat a level 70 Tyranitar? We're not prepared for this. It's like a level 7,000 Dark Mage just went back to kill the first slime in the first village of a JRPG. What's he doing here? Bob thinks to himself. How am I going to defeat this? Until the Tyranitar begins to move, thrashing left and right. In fact, all he's doing is thrashing left and right. A full restore every now and then, but shockingly, all this Tyranitar can do is thrash. It may be strong, but it's not a very well-trained Tyranitar. And since I have my Gengar that I just recently caught, it can't do a thing to hurt me. So all this Tyranitar can do is thrash into the abyss until it is eventually put to sleep by the one thing that could have stopped it. A dead guy. The Tyranitar falls. Bob breathes a sigh of relief. He won't have to give out a gym badge today. And in a shocking turn of events, we defeat Hiker Paul and gain 1,000 reputation, which is like, that's like 20 times more than anyone else gives out. Edgar's gonna be well jealous when he finds out. And speak of the devil, when we arrive home that night, we're met with a letter from Edgar. He says it's time to settle this and asks me to come and meet him in the Badlands, the same place where I was kidnapped earlier. Now, a little trauma can't stop you from doing a good job, so Bob suppresses the feelings of abject fear and horror, throws in a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome, and thinks to himself, yeah, I'll be fine. It can't be that bad, right? And then immediately upon returning to the Badlands, talks to Paul again accidentally, starting another level 70 Tyranitar fight, which is dispatched just as easily the second time around. Once again, Bob battles through all the goons of the Rough Riders and finds himself face to face with Edgar. The time for annihilation of one of us has come. Edgar versus Bob. The winner will maintain control over the entire village. His lead Aggron is dispatched by Gengar, and he follows up with a Metagross. Fearing a Psychic type move, I switch into Brian, but then he fires back with an Earthquake on Brian, destroying him immediately. Gengar switches back in. Having been healed during the turns that Brian was on the field, he fires off a Shadow Ball, being immediately taken out by a Zen Headbutt. Cookie the Detonate comes in and tries to discharge, but it's just not enough, so we're forced to use Revives. Cookie gets annihilated, but Gengar comes back in and swings big with a Shadow Ball. Garchomp's next on the menu, and a Dazzling Gleam does a ton of damage, but Garchomp immediately eats my ghost. Bob sends wave after wave of Pokemon at this Garchomp, and it reaches its preset kill limit and shuts down. But then there's another Tyranitar, and this one knows a little bit more than just Thrash. So we go for a chancy shot. We hit a Hypnosis, spamming Revives like a 3-year-old that just learned how to play. We miss a Hypnosis, getting hit with a Stone Edge. But now there's only Brian. Or rather, there's not only Brian because we still have Revives left, but we're running low. I only have 2 left. We try our best to keep Brian healthy. Fortunately, this Tyranitar does not know Earthquake, and after a few Iron Heads, Brian is just able to take down the Tyranitar. A Salamence appears, which is swiftly dispatched by Gengar, and the last Pokemon, a Hydreigon. A Pokemon quad weak to the gym that I am. Fairy-type Dazzling Gleam knocks it out, and Edgar is defeated. Edgar admits defeat. He realizes Bob is simply too goated. We elevate to gym rank 4, and we try to get some rest, but the very next day, the champion, Garrison, appears. Of course, he's here to test my mettle. So Bob enters the arena, but the champion Garrison is on another level. He leads with whatever this is supposed to be, but after liberal use of the Hypnosis move and a few Calm Minds, Numa is able to destroy everything, even the disguised Zoroark. Champion Garrison is defeated by the new Fairy-type gym leader and is left in awe at our strength. It's been an exciting few days, but things aren't gonna slow down just yet. As soon as we head back to our house, we advance another rank, and another letter appears. One from a mysterious individual telling me to meet in the gym. Not knowing what's going on, we meet this mysterious individual in the gym, and they immediately challenge Bob to a battle. The battle starts off smoothly. He appears to be a normal type specialist, but Bob easily dispatches the first few Pokemon until an Eevee appears. But this is no normal Eevee. This Eevee is incredibly powerful, taking Dazzling Gleams like it's nothing, firing out quick attacks like they're using Hyper Beam on steroids. This Eevee knocks out pretty much the entirety of Bob's team. It takes the combined might of every single one of our Pokemon and a little bit of hypnosis hacks before Numa is finally able to take it out. But the mysterious individual finally admits defeat, and in the presence of the gym girl admits that they are the very same gym leader that left at the start of the game. The reason why we're able to get this position as a gym leader in the first place. Jason, the original normal type gym leader, was threatened to leave immediately or face repercussions on their friends and family. Not wanting any harm to befall them, Jason left. But in doing so unceremoniously, the town turned against him. They came to hate him because he left for seemingly no reason. He warns us against these shadowy individuals that may threaten us and then disappears, advancing our rank to rank 6. And very soon, we get that very same letter, a threat to leave the gym, and a promise that if any of this is mentioned to the police, then grievous harm will befall us, their family and friends, and the rest of the town. We know you'll make the right choice, Bob, is how the letter is ended, but Bob is not really a rational individual and goes immediately to the police. Which, I'm gonna be honest, Bob, I don't think that was... Go to the police? They're probably just gonna say, I don't know, there's nothing we can do, sorry, Bob. But the police call Bob back and says, I don't know, yeah, there's nothing we can do about that, sorry. Yeah. It sucks though. Hope you figure it out. With no help from the police, Bob is left with no option but to train to become as strong as possible to defend himself and the town. And eventually the threats of this mysterious individual comes true. Our gym trainers don't come into work. They've completely disappeared. The police are out searching. They have no idea where they are. There's only one place that they haven't searched, the Badlands, the base of the Rogue Riders, Edgar's team. So of course, Bob shoots into action, heading over to the Badlands immediately to rescue the gym trainers. But he finds Edgar just outside the entrance and explains that, no, you idiot, it wasn't me that took all the gym trainers hostage. It was the mayor. He barged into the Badlands and took control of the Rogue Riders, kidnapping our gym trainers in the process. The whole time, this kindly mayor that had been helping us along so nicely was actually the bad guy. So Bob barrels into the Badlands. It's time for a final encounter with the mayor. The mayor explains that he looks onto the gym leader's position with envy, how everyone looks up to gym leaders, how this mayor tried to get himself into a political position so that he may have respect and power. But now that respect and power has shifted towards the strongest trainers being the leaders of the local gyms. The mayor did his best to mitigate that power by threatening gym leaders, causing Jason, the original normal type gym leader, to leave so that the power would relate to him. But Bob is too stupid to do something as stupid as that, and immediately challenges the mayor to a final showdown to decide the balance of power in Umble City. We lead with a miss and Dusclops goes for a curse. This works in our favor as we dip into Brian and use Taunt, stopping him from being able to confuse Ray, and then slamming him with crunch after crunch, forcing him to use up his potions. Eventually, Brian uses his massive mouth to completely consume the Dusclops, but Brian falls to an earthquake from the follow-up Rhydon. Curse Gas the Gengar fires off a Shadow Ball, taking down the Rhydon. Goodra enters, but is easily countered by the fairy-type moves that we have come to appreciate and use so much. Then a Dragonite appears, and you'd think that this guy would plan ahead of time, knowing he's gonna fight a fairy-type gym leader and not use Dragon types, but oh, there's the Steel type. Oh, okay, never mind. I get it now. Bullet Punch takes out Shawnee, and it's not looking good. We don't have many answers for a Scizor that's incredibly powerful. We're forced to go into Gengar, but that Bullet Punch just does too much damage. Fortunately, though, we do pop Curse Body, meaning he cannot use Bullet Punch any longer, putting him in the perfect position to be slammed by Shadow Ball after Shadow Ball. Oh, Bullet Punch just killed. Okay, I guess he got undisabled. Well, there goes Gengar. But Cookie enters the arena. Is Cookie's power enough? Cookie survives on 4 health points and gets a paralysis off on the Scizor. But unless we get incredibly lucky, there's no way we're gonna be able to take it out. And for some reason, he goes for Swords Dance and then Full Heal, meaning that Cooking can dispatch him, leaving only Aegislash. The Aegislash is hit with discharge after discharge, flinch after paralysis after flinch, and eventually falls. Bob has defeated the mayor and rescued Umble City from the oppressive regime. The mayor arrested by the police. Edgar takes back control of his gang, and we are elevated to Gym Leader rank 8, becoming the strongest gym leader in the world, handing out 0 gym badges and saving this city. Good job, Bob. You truly are the gym leader of all time.